Hello, I'm Rick Adams, and I'll be your host for Inside CCAC. On today's program, we're going to talk with two current students and two former students, and hopefully they'll tell us a little bit about their journey to and through higher education. In the studio, we are pleased to have as our guests, and these are two CCAC students, Rhonda Baker and Josh Henkel. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I guess a good place to start would be just to ask you to say a little bit about who you are you native Pittsburghers, how long you've been here, and then let's talk about how you came to CCAC.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You want to go first, Josh? Or me? I'll go first.
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. My name is Rhonda Baker, and I'm from the Hill District.
All right.
I live in the Hill.
The historic Hill.
Yes, the historic Hill. And I am a grandma. I have 3 grandchildren, 2 children, and I'm currently a full-time student at CCAC.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't appear old enough to have grandchildren,
But I am
but you are. Okay. And how long have you been at CCAC?
almost 2 years.
2 years. Okay. And pursuing what?
Now it's drug and alcohol.
Drug and alcohol. Okay.
Yes.
You say now.
Yes.
What?
When I first, my major was social work, specializing in domestic violence.
Okay.
Okay, and come to find out, I couldn't pass algebra. So,
In time for the May graduation.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had to withdraw from that
Mhm.
and take up another major. Now my major is drug and alcohol.
Okay. Well, we're going to come back to that as you're going to come back to algebra. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Joshua Henkel. I'm a former corporal of the United States Marine Corps.
Right.
I'm a full-time student at CCAC, and I work at the Veterans Center as a work study right now. As far as where I'm from, I'm actually from all over Pittsburgh. So the Hill District, I'm from the Hill District.
Right.
Everywhere around Pittsburgh, so I kind of got a feel for all the areas.
That's that Marine thing.
I don't know. It
See
must
the
be.
world. See
It
the
must
world.
be.
How long were you in the Corps?
4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
I got out actually in January, so I got in for the spring semester.
Now you say all around the world. Is that literally? What countries did you see?
Well, as far as countries, I was in Okinawa, Japan. I got stationed over in mainland Japan in Hokkaido. Went to Korea and Afghanistan.
All right. Some of the hot spots.
Yeah.
Some
So
of the
a
scenic
little bit.
spots.
Mainly over from the Eastern Hemisphere, but not so much in America too much. The only places I've been in America as far as station-wise was North Carolina prior to discharge.
All right. How did you get to CCAC? Rhonda, how did you find your way to this particular school?
I'm involved with the Women's Center and Shelter, and PNC gave Women's Center and Shelter a grant. So they gave some of the opportunities for some of the women who were in domestic violence a chance to come to college. And I happen to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
And
Is this a full scholarship?
yeah, everything paid for, books, everything, transportation, whatever. And all we had to do was maintain a C average.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I did better than
So
that.
were you seeking this, or was somebody urging you to go
No, I
to
know.
school?
It was like, who wants to go to college? And we were all sitting around the table, doing group, and it was like, for real?
Mm-hmm.
They was like, no, yeah, for real. I was like, well, I know, I want to go. I want to
me,
go.
me.
Yeah. And it was like, it's for real. You can go for free.
Right, you were
Whoever would have a free
At
education.
first you didn't trust this offer.
Yeah, I was like, so it was just a catch behind it,
And was it specifically the CCAC or any
The
college?
CCAC.
Okay, great.
Either what campus, as long as it was CCAC.
Thank you, PNC.
Yes. Thank
Very,
you. Cool.
very good. Now, when you came to CCAC, did you know what you wanted to pursue? What major?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you came in with a goal in mind.
Yeah.
All right. Did it turn out like you thought
No.
it would? Well, what
No.
did you expect and what was different?
The curriculum was real good until we got to math.
We're back to that subject.
Math is just not one of my strong points.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've been out of school. I'm 58 years old, so I've been out of school for a long time. And even in school, I didn't take up algebra because it was just not my thing. You know, and then to come here and see that I had to take it, it was like, oh, the fear was just tremendous. You know, so it was just something new, and I was like, well, okay, Ron, you know, you can go to the math cafe, you can get all the tutoring, you can do this and that. It was just something that just was not computing. My brain was like, we are not receptive.
Okay.
You know, so, but not only have I done it once, I tried it twice. And it's just not for me right now.
Right now. I like the right now part. We'll come back. I want to keep, Josh, I don't want you to sit out there too long.
Oh, no. It's
You came directly from the Marine Corps.
Yep.
So that was a different path. And Marine Corps, I guess, didn't know anything about CCAC. How did you find
Oh,
CCAC?
no. Well, I was aware of the college prior to my discharge. CCAC happens to be fairly established whenever it comes to being a veteran-friendly school. They actually rank in the top 10 in Pennsylvania as far as schools being veteran-friendly. And that's actually a pretty high task to accomplish for a school because they go off of like a bunch of different things, like as far as how many veterans that they have in the school and them processing the times quick enough in order to help out the veterans that they have in their school.
Okay, so we like rated high. We actually assessed and said that we were doing a good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I knew temporarily that I was going to come, at least temporarily, come back to Pittsburgh and stuff like that. So, and because of the knowledge and stuff like that they've helped me out, they actually helped me out with transitioning over and filling out the necessary paperwork. And as far as information, it kind of made it easier for me to move back and transition into the school.
That's an interesting term, transition. How easy was it for you to transition from the military to CCAC? And what kind of things does the college do to make it easier?
Put it this way, as far as transitioning, we actually have at least in the Marine Corps, I'm sure it's universal across the board with the other branches as well, but we have transition readiness classes that are, it's an 8-hour class that goes 5 days out of the week, so 8 hours every day for 5 days. So that you got to figure that amount of information that we're going to get and that we're receiving as far as, I guess as far as benefits, it goes for the GI Bill with the school, disability, and things of that nature. So to have that on your plate, plus trying to figure out where you're going to live and how you're going to survive the future family, it's kind of a lot of information to take in one week class, especially whenever you're getting ready to transition, you know, and to the real life, so to speak. And that process, you know, going from the Marine Corps to the school, it was pretty difficult, especially with the amount of time that I had available. I got out January 1st and had to move in, get all my stuff ready, and then go to school 2 weeks later. So going from
2 weeks?
Yeah, I had 2 weeks. And so to go from that and to be a full-time student and stuff, it was pretty difficult. Especially I had to definitely be prepared as far as paperwork and organized. If I didn't receive any help from Dwight or Kim Fairley that work over here at the Veterans Office as well, I probably wouldn't have done that as smoothly as I did.
Okay. Rhonda, you had to transition too. Not from the Marines, but you had to transition. What helped you in that process? What was a pathway that you found particularly helpful?
Well, I've had experience in domestic violence. So I was like, wow. And by me being involved with the Women's Center and Shelter, I was like, what a better way to give back to the Women's Center and Shelter than to make this one of my dreams. You know, to specialize in the social work and to specialize in domestic violence. We need more people to get involved with domestic violence because it is such a terrible thing. You know, many women are getting beaten, children are being hurt and everything, and nobody seems to really want to do something about it.
They don't want to talk about it.
They-
most of the
No,
time. It's a
they
hidden
never want to
secret.
talk about it. It's like, shh, don't tell nobody. And what happens with that is that a lot of women wind up being killed, and so do children. You see what I'm saying? So not only does the women suffer, but the children suffer, families suffer, you know, and especially like the parents of children who are going through it, where they don't want to tell their parents what's going on because they're being controlled and stuff like that. And I was like, let me go over here, pick a major that I can make a difference in somebody's life. And so far, it's doing well. Yeah.
When you came to CCAC, did you have to, how did it factor in your circumstances? I mean, you came with some baggage, and we all do.
Right.
Whatever our baggage is, it's leather, or it's pleather, or it's large, or it's small, or it's 4 bags, or 6 bags, but we all come with something. And I was wondering, were there particular offices or people at the college that were particularly helpful to you?
Right. Miss Young, Professor Carla Young. She helped me, like, especially when we're doing reading. I didn't know what a verb was, what a main subject, pick the main subject and all that. I didn't know none of that stuff. Although I could read and stuff like that, but I didn't know what that meant. You know, and she was really adamant about helping us and helping me in that area. You know, and I just learned a lot of things, vocabulary. I learned how to speak well from her.
Okay.
Because, you know, from where I'm from, we know street smart and we know street talk. You know, but then when you come into a college setting, you learn a different language. You know, and so I had to read the words to understand what I'm talking about. And I had to understand them, you know, in order for me to speak it. You know, so I wound up becoming a real good student. You know, a real good student.
Okay.
You know, I made the dean's list twice.
Right.
You know, I mean, who
would have thunked it?
Who would have thunked it, you know? I mean, it's just so many, you know, so many good professors over here that do care about you.
Okay.
You know, and I happen to have the knowledge of knowing quite a few of them who really did care about what was going on with me. And Dr. Ebony English, all these people, you know. I mean, it's just, you have so many. And there's so many ways not to fail in the school. It's just pathetic. You understand what I'm saying? They just don't let you fail. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's just too much help. There's too much help here for you to fail. But if you do, you get back up and you try it again.
That's right. Josh, outside of the Veterans Center, were there other offices or services that you found helpful?
Well, as far as veterans, the Veterans Office is actually like kind of like a one-stop shop.
Full service,
full,
right?
Yeah, full service,
Okay.
whole kit and caboodle. So yeah, we are pretty connected whenever it comes to veterans coming over into the office and everything else, and they were definitely more than helpful for us. And if it wasn't like as far as personal baggage and stuff like that, they would point us in the right direction as far as other programs and stuff like that too. So if you know, if they can't resolve or couldn't resolve my own personal issues, we'll direct it to the right department and stuff like that.
Because you know, you have financial aid, you have advising, you have counseling, you have tutoring. There's all kind of services. And being at the college, I know many times you have to answer to all of these things, but it's usually a process of referral. You can't, whatever expertise you have personally or the people in your office, most offices aren't that big.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking what other kind of offices or I guess functional areas or people, and you mentioned a few, Rhonda, that were particularly helpful, because I think our listeners would want to know that sometimes when we say, and we mean it and we're telling the truth, you know, oh, we have all the help that you need. Sometimes that hits the ear. If you're entering something new and you don't know, you say, okay, that's what they tell everybody. You know, that's the rhetoric. That's what they're supposed to say. You know, tell me the real stuff, what really works. Let me ask you this. What advice would you give somebody terms of coming to CCAC?
Oh my goodness, I would want them to come. Please come.
So you would urge people to come.
Oh
to
yeah,
CCAC.
definitely, definitely.
No hesitation.
No,
or
without
anything.
no hesitation. Without no hesitation.
I mean, and if you do,
no.
we're
I mean,
friends. We're among friends.
the
Nobody will hear it. But
The
just us.
tuition, the tuition alone tells you to come here.
Okay.
It tells you to come here because what you learn here, you can learn in any like Pitt or whatever. You know, the same class, cheaper. You know, I mean, the same education for cheap. Where else can you get a bomb education?
Not too infrequently, sometimes the same
The
professors.
same
Because
professors.
a number of the
Right.
professors teach at the different institutions. And our professors have their PhDs,
Yeah.
and they teach at Pitt, and Point Park. You know, you
Yeah,
name it. They're at
well,
other.
you'd be surprised on actually how many of them actually came from universities and have stayed here instead.
Exactly. CCAC, would you tell veterans to come here?
Oh yeah.
You say, I
We-
better I work in that office.
No, absolutely not. No, not just because I actually really enjoy helping out veterans and things of that nature, but we actually have a lot of veterans that are transferring over from some universities and other colleges from other states that say the same thing, that we actually have more information available to them that is the correct information, which is really important. And the only veterans can really tell you on just how much of a burden a lot of this paperwork is for them to fill out. Because if it's not, if all this stuff isn't done properly, you could end up owing the VA money, you could end up owing the school money, and that really interferes with your personal life. So I would definitely recommend coming over, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.
Does the center do like outreach, special events, activities to reach veterans? Because you're saying come in, but
Oh,
sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah.
need that extra little
Oh, yeah,
push,
that
or you
extra
need to be
little bit.
exposed. You're walking through the mall and there's a table or whatever.
Yeah. Actually, we had an event. It was about a month ago for veterans. A good amount of people showed up. We had a personal speaker come over, and this was on Flag Day. So we had all the different events here at the school, and it wasn't just for school stuff. We had other things too, like sleep study for veterans and things of that nature. But we actually had a good turnout with veterans that showed up.
Great. And Rhonda, what kind of special events? You talked about the shelter and all. I know there's a lot of programming and support that's needed there.
Right.
Is there some activities that you could share with us relative to that?
The Women's Center and Shelter had a gala not too long ago. And some of us give out our stories, tell our stories. And we found out there were a lot of major funders that came. And my story was one that they put up on the board.
Wow.
You know, and I was just so overwhelmed with joy, you know, to see 500 people watching my story.
Okay, this was a video?
Yeah, they did a video of me.
Okay.
You know, and when we had our gala, our event.
You all didn't tell me we had a star here in the studio.
We had an event,
Okay.
you know, and
Where was the gala held at?
I want to get it right. It was in Oakland.
Okay. That's all right.
One of the museums.
Okay.
It was out there.
I thought you were going to say hotel, and I refused to name them because they keep changing. So it's
Yeah.
the same location, and you had 4 or 5 different names. So.
Right, it was
But that's not
there.
important. That it was
And
held. That's
it was
tremendous.
over 500 people there, and me and a Steeler, you know, he was the advocate for the men, for the Women's Center and Shelter.
Okay.
You know, and we were there, and for everybody to see my story, it just blowed me away for me to be honored in such a great fashion. You know, and we obtained like over $250,000 that night, you know, for the Women's Center and Shelter.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Really? Okay, I think we're coming near to the end of our segment. One thing I wanted to ask you, is there something we could do better, perhaps, the college, or something that you personally would do different if you were beginning your journey first day? Is there something in terms of preparation or how you entered the college or would do while you were here?
Well, I would like to see, if you, like as far as the algebra thing again,
Okay, that's
I
fair.
would like to see why couldn't it be substituted with something else? Why did it just have to be that? Which stops me from getting my degree.
Well, you know, they call
I didn't understand that.
They call algebra a gateway course, and to a
Right.
lot of occupations, it's necessary.
Okay.
You sound kind of like me when I was in high school, and I used to. Well, I was in trigonometry or something.
Ooh.
And every 2 weeks, I would say, "Excuse me, tell me again why I need to take this, why I might use this." So I
But-
understand. I feel you. It's
But
the
I
same
do
thing.
understand because we should be able to substitute like a business math for it if we can't make it that way.
Well,
You know,
let's explore it.
something like
We won't
that.
give up.
You know, I'm not going to give up.
If you're
but
going through the
either I'll
algebra
come
or-
back, at
Yeah.
another time,
Absolutely.
and put
Then you have
forth.
2 degrees.
Then I'll have 2 degrees
You're graduating when?
in December.
December. Okay, congratulations.
That's great.
Josh, where are you? When are you graduating?
January.
January.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all are too much. Anything you would do different?
Personally, no, I wouldn't do anything different. I spent a lot of time planning, and that's something that I recommend to everybody. If you're going to do something, do it. Go all out and do it.
Plan.
Because people fail to plan. They don't plan to fail. So
You
that's-
actually had an A and a B. Somebody told me you had an A plan and a B plan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta have your A plan, your B plan, and then your C plan, just in case.
Absolutely. That's when I first went to school, and that's when I learned the word scenario. You need scenarios. And I was like, if I knew what it was, I would have one, you know.
And I want to say something else.
Go right ahead.
I just want to say you're never too old to learn something new. I'm 58 and I'm in college.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree. One year we had the youngest, I think it was 14 or 15 graduating, and the oldest, and I think that was 90.
Right?
So that's what I love about the community college. We're a school for everybody.
Right,
You know,
right.
It doesn't matter. Any word, Josh, you would give for veterans?
Definitely come over. Definitely come to CCAC. Whatever campus that you go through, you'll be going through us, and we'll help you out with any issues that you have.
All right. Sounds good. If we could duplicate you all, actually, we need to put you on the trail and send you out so that you can be ambassadors for the school. But you do such a good job. I want to bottle it and put it on radio, TV, and Facebook, Twitter, and all that. I do that now. Yeah. Some of the younger people are amazed.
Yes.
Oh, guy like me can do that.
Yeah, I don't even Facebook or Twitter.
Really? No, it's interesting. It becomes daunting sometimes because now you got to keep track of all this. What's the other one? LinkedIn or
Yeah.
LinkedIn. I'm always requested for something, you know. So it's crazy. But I do want to thank you for coming and for sharing your story. It's a story of inspiration. It's one that hopefully will give others an idea of how they can be successful and begin that ladder. It never ends. Continuing education, as you said, you're never too old, but also throughout life, you're going to continue to study. That's the nature. I mean, they're creating new knowledge every day. We have a second segment coming up in which we're going to have some alumni that are going to come into that part of the program, and they're going to share their experiences and where they have gone after they have left us. So please stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside CCAC. I'm your host, Rick Adams. In the first segment, we talked to two current students at the Community College of Allegheny County. In this second segment, we're going to talk to some alums of Community College and find out, we're going to talk a little bit about how they came to CCAC, about their experiences, and then, of course, what they've been doing afterward, and did CCAC prepare them to do that. So we want to welcome into the studio Heather Freeman and Emerald Huggins.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And I always like to, I'm old school, so ladies first. When, how did you get to CCAC?
Okay, I've been going to CCAC since I graduated high school, so 2006.
Okay.
I've been taking my prerequisites since then, and these last 2 years, so since 2012, I went to the Allegheny campus here on the north side for nursing.
Okay. Nursing.
So,
Wow.
yes.
That's a rigorous program.
Oh, very rigorous. It changes your life completely.
All right.
Changes your life.
What made you come to CCAC?
Well, one, yes, it's financially, it's there. You're able to do it, and there shouldn't be a reason why you can't do it. They make it affordable for you. Two, for the nursing program, it's known. The nursing program is considered to be, just up there as one of the best programs. And it's also very a mixed ethnic crowd. We get a big diversity of people, and I love that.
Okay.
So that's what brought me to CCAC.
Emerald, what brought you to CCAC?
What brought me to CCAC? So I actually graduated from college from a 4-year school, Oral Roberts University, in 2009.
Okay, so that's a different kind of path.
Yes,
you're about to tell us about.
Career transitioning. I was actually going through, I just finished working at one job, and had these really big questions for myself. What do I want to do with my life? Like, what do
When I
really
grow
want?
up.
When I grow up again, right? So I decided to do nursing, and I knew the quickest path for me to do that would be to go to CCAC, and the most inexpensive path. And so I started at CCAC, did transition classes there to do prerequisites for Duquesne's program of nursing.
Yeah, a couple questions.
Sure.
About your accent, I'm guessing you're not from Pittsburgh.
I am not from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
No, I'm
I
from
was joking earlier saying South Homewood, but that's
right.
not it either.
No, it's not South Homewood. I'm actually from Arkansas.
Arkansas,
So born
okay.
and raised since birth. Yeah.
Yeah, the president.
I'm a Razorback. Yeah.
Okay. And you have a degree in what?
Public relations and advertising.
Oh, you need to be in this chair.
Yeah, I should be in your chair.
Public peace.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And you just decided that wasn't for you? Or?
You know what? I knew graduating in my senior year, I knew that I didn't want to go into PR or advertising. So I've always wanted to go into the medical field. It's always something that's been in my family and I'm drawn to. So I was just thinking, what can I do to make a difference? And nursing just seemed like a very smart option for me, and I love it so much. I mean, it's really a great field. I love it.
Again, it's a tough field.
It is. It is very tough and very rigorous. But if you're passionate about it, if you really like it, it's something that you can definitely do. Because I really feel like 18 is such a very young age to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Right. And just to tell someone that, I think that's really daunting and hard to be that young, to know that you're supposed to know exactly what you want to do. And a lot of times it's not the case for people. So I was very fortunate to use CCAC as a platform for me to almost kind of transition into another 4-year school so that I can use as much as I can there, make sure my grades are as best as possible, and then transition to another school.
Your story has some interesting examples of things we talk
Yes.
about, those of us who work at the college all the time.
Right.
You're non-traditional in the sense that you're coming to us with a degree, which many students do.
Right, many students do.
Young and not so young.
Right.
Have a degree, come back, make a career change. That's one difference. And then a male in nursing
Right.
is another non-traditional role
Right.
because if it was female in, pick one of the male,
Right.
but it's the reverse kind of thing going on there.
Right.
So that's an interesting
Right.
story that I think needs to get out that people don't realize. You don't have to be right out of high school.
No.
And whether you have a degree or part of a degree or no degree,
Right.
there's a place for you here at CCAC.
Right, and I would even encourage people who have had already been to school or who did not go to college, I would encourage them to go because I feel like they're more likely to be very successful because they know what they want to do, because they know that they have a clear-cut goal of where they want to be, and they've probably already had some like career life experience, so they kind of know which way they want their education to go.
Now, have you, I guess, took a CCAC test for nursing? And then took one at UPMC also?
I did.
Okay. So now you're persevering, which is another thing we talk about, what
Yes.
it takes for a student to persevere. And were you working all this time?
I was.
Okay.
So
Family?
I am. I'm married. I have. I had 3 children, and then in nursing school, in my last year, I ended up pregnant. So I have 4 children.
Nice.
Yes. So
You're just busy.
I'm very busy. So like I said, I went to CCAC from all my prerequisites, and CCAC allows you to do that at your own pace. So I did that part-time because of my family, because of working full-time. And then when I went into nursing school, that is a full-time thing, and I worked part-time at that point, full-time in the beginning, then went part-time. And before going into nursing school, I did go to UPMC first to take their nursing test. And CCAC had an entrance exam as well, which I failed the first time. And I was so upset. Like, I studied, I bought the book, I knew I had it, and I failed. So
You didn't let that stop you.
I didn't let it stop me. I knew I had to do this, not just for me, but for my children. So I thought I was going to go to UPMC, but then CCAC changed their requirements, and I got in.
Okay.
And I got in also with, I also was in the RN Achievement program. So that's a great thing.
A couple things come to mind. One, people probably don't realize, and I don't know, I think it's still true, but some years ago, I know we used to talk about, and Josh in our first segment mentioned being in North Carolina. And I believe it was North Carolina as the example that CCAC in 1 year was producing more nurses than the whole state. I mean, that's how deep, how large our program is.
I believe it, yeah.
The other thing is you mentioned requirements, and I know it was a testing piece, that there were a number of issues some of us had internally, externally with the test. Some of it referred to international students or students where English was a second language, because there was a very strict time period.
Yes.
And once I understood the problem, I had to think about it. Now, nursing, both of you know this, is a language in itself. You
Yes.
have to read those prescriptions, or the doctor tells you, you're like, what? Spell that out. What is that word?
Right.
But now, if you don't even speak English, so you have to translate that from nurse-ese or medicine-ese into English, then into your native language, and then back. But then there's I forgot what it was, 7-second time or something. You need to answer each question.
Right.
So we said, well, that's not fair. In fact, these are very bright people. If they can go, I mean, I
Yes.
only know one language basically. So if I had to go between two, I have a rough enough time with English.
Right.
So that's a big problem. The other was there were some biases in it, and we weren't sure what we were testing. And sometimes the test is just a barrier,
Right.
Yeah.
as opposed to really measuring whether somebody can do the job or not.
Right.
So I'm glad you persevered in that circumstance and that we got a different testing
Yes.
instrument.
I'm glad CCAC looked into that. I mean, a part of the test that it tested you on, you did not have to take a prerequisite for. So if you didn't take the prerequisite, you didn't know how to do it, and you're going to fail that part.
Right.
So it was amazing that they got rid of it, and I got in, and I got in even better with the RN Achievement program.
You've mentioned RN Achievement. I know a little bit about it. Tell our audience, what is RN Achievement?
So the RN Achievement program is for not just for African Americans, but it's also for anyone of a different ethnic background. So anyway, you could be Italian, or you could be from Afghanistan, anyone with a
You
different
could be a first-time
ethnicity.
student, right? A first generation? Was that part of it?
I don't know that part, so
Okay.
I don't want to speak on that. But I think that could be. But they help you. They help you with tutoring. They help you. They make sure you succeed. They help you with books. It's a grant.
Right.
So Sherry Cottom is the head of it, and she's also a social worker. So she's there for you for everything that you need.
Okay.
So it was they also give you an extra class that you have to take with them. But that extra class at first is like, I don't need any more classes. I'm already in nursing school. I have no life. But that extra class helps you.
Okay. The extra class, how do I want to put it? If you're a participant in RN Achievement, were you in a cohort? Did you always take all classes together or no?
It is a cohort, and
Okay.
you always take it together. And your nursing class, morning, AM, or PM, is your family. I mean, you kind of forget about your own family for a little bit, but that ends up being your family. You become very close.
Usually I can tell the nursing students because they're the ones with a distressed look on their face.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you can see, you know, at test times where everybody's taking
Oh, my
tests,
gosh.
everybody looks like they're
Yeah.
nursing students. But there's certain times you look and say, that's a nursing student.
I've never cried during a test, ever in my life. And I can tell you, men, women, we cry.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
cry before a test because if you don't pass,
You're done.
that one test can
Right.
you know, fail you. It's your life.
Emerald, you were in the RN Achievement or no?
I'm not, no.
Okay. Have you needed supports? What supports are there for you to be successful in pursuing the nursing?
Well, it supports as in like at CCAC or transition out of CCAC?
Both.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I haven't had much support that I've needed financially, like for the program, because CCAC is affordable. But I will say, from me going to CCAC really helped me out a lot because I got involved in a lot of organizations, and so far, going into Duquesne's program, I have almost $40,000 in scholarships that are going to my program. So I would suggest to anybody, please choose, you know, a very smart option before you going into school. You know, because you don't want to pay more money than you have to.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Duquesne, I guess UPMC for a moment. How did we stack up? Professors, curriculum. I mean, we looking pretty good. Were you equipped? when
I
you
have
got there?
friends in UPMC that graduated actually along with me. A lot of things were similar in what we did, but maybe things that I thought at the time they might have did better, now I know it wasn't better. We did it for a reason. We have something called ATI testing in nursing, which every nurse cannot stand. But it's great for the NCLEX. I'm getting prepared for my NCLEX, and the ones who have passed their NCLEX so far have said it's just like the ATI.
And NCLEX is a
It's our state boards.
state boards, okay.
And so UPMC doesn't have that. So my friends are at a disadvantage.
All right. You were involved with a special project, if I'm not mistaken. Something
was.
happens in West Park, maybe?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, CCAC gave me, they were amazing. I came up with an idea to have a cookout with healthcare options for the homeless. And I did this along with one of my nursing teachers, Patricia Kowalski. And I gave her that idea, and she said, okay. You know, I kept coming with more ideas. Okay, I want to have blood pressures there. I want to do glucose checks for people if they have diabetes. I want to give clothes to the homeless. I want us to feed the homeless. So I had a lot of different ideas, and CCAC backed it all up. They backed up the money, of course. They provided the tables. They were amazing, and we did it in the park. We fed over, I believe it was over 300 people.
Wow.
We fed and clothed over 300 children,
Wow.
men, and women.
Yeah, the pictures, I've seen the
Yeah.
pictures. They were fabulous.
Yeah,
Just
it was amazing, and we did it again this summer. So we're trying to do it every summer, and being an alumni, I still want to come back and do it. So it was,
That's awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, the write-up was great. What it described was great. There were pictures, so you could kind of get a feel for it. And it was like I guess a festival in the park almost.
It was a
kind of
festival
thing.
in the park, you know, and people who have not experienced being homeless, you know, I've had a period of my life that I have experienced it. They got to open their eyes and say, wow, you know, I've never seen this before. To see mothers carrying bags of clothes for their children brought tears to people's eyes because, hey, we did this. And CCAC was able to back us up. That's a great school. I can't say that another major school would back if I had came to them with an idea like this, would they have backed me up? I don't know. But CCAC backed me up,
That's
and that was
awesome.
amazing.
That's really good.
So,
Emerald, talk about, what is it, the accelerated program, Duquesne?
Sure.
Because that's interesting. Now, you have a BA, but
Right.
now you're going to end up,
BS.
BS, okay,
Right.
now you're going to end up with
Yeah.
another degree?
I am actually. Yeah, I want
the
to clarify
bachelor.
that. So, if I was in most people's positions, I would definitely have chosen CCAC before, but I have that bachelor's degree. So, Duquesne has a program, it's called a second degree nursing program. So, basically, what you do is you actually take 69 credits of nursing courses in 12 months. So, because I already have that bachelor's degree, that's why I chose another program. But if I was in the position that I did not have a bachelor's degree, I would have most definitely chosen CCAC because it's such a great and smart option.
It sounds like the Duquesne program sounds like a fascinating.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and-
So I'll be graduating next August, 2015.
Great.
That's crazy.
Great.
Yeah.
What would either of you do differently, if anything, pursuing your nursing degree?
I think everything happens for a reason, and I don't think I would have done anything different. It's made me a different person, a better person, a stronger person, because I would be here from 10 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night studying, literally, you know, so it's completely changed me. So I wouldn't do anything different. And I had some really amazing professors on the way that wanted you to succeed. So I don't think I would do anything different.
You know what? I think what I would do differently, hopefully I'm not aging myself too much, but I always tell people find you a Feenie, find you a person that actually is going to help you. Because there was this show called Boy Meets World where Corey Matthews, he had his teacher, his principal at the time when he was younger. He was his major role model that was pushing him and really giving him guidance and counseling on what he needs to do. And I encourage anybody, please find you a Feenie, because there's so many at CCAC.
I agree.
Find you that person that's actually agree with your goals and your game plan and what you want to do, and find that person and stick with them. And make sure that's someone that's going to encourage you and actually push you, and they're motivated to give you a positive message rather than telling you can't do something or you can't do that.
And don't let nothing stop you.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
If I can do it, anyone can do it. I just feel that way.
If we never talk for 4 years,
Okay.
4 years from now, where would I find you?
Oh.
I'm gonna be in the hospital delivering babies.
Okay. Okay.
You know what? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm really drawn to nurse practitioner. I'm drawn to AIDS and HIV prevention. I love that aspect of nursing. I'm doing palliative care where people are coming in constantly, and I also love CRNA. I love nurse anesthetists. That drives me up. I mean, that's what really gets me going. Knowing that I can. It's really fast paced and it's quick. So I don't know, but you'll see me. Most definitely.
I have no doubt I will see you and I will see our guests in the first segment. This is so fulfilling for me, as a employee of the community college.
Sure.
I live for those moments when we have graduation, when we have whatever pinning ceremonies,
Right.
whatever it is,
Right.
where students have reached their goal.
Right.
And they've gotten to a certain plateau, and you just see it. You're as proud as they are. It's almost like they're all your brother and sister, or your son or daughter. When you see them walk across that stage, or receive that award, or get that scholarship. It's even better when you hear that they got that real lucrative job and a position at an institution that they were seeking to be at. And it's even better still, speaking of nursing, when you need health care.
Oh, yes.
And two competent folk like you all are there, as opposed to them laying there thinking, oh, they studied, they know
Right,
what they're
exactly.
doing.
No.
Because it's serious now. It's
Right.
not theoretical.
Right,
It's very
exactly.
serious.
Very serious.
And you all ought to be commended.
Thank you.
And I hope that in our program today, that you have learned something about CCAC. Number one, that it's a place that probably you can find your niche and be able to fit in and realize your dreams. Two, hopefully you see that the people attending, both working there, hopefully I appear normal, and our guests are everyday folk, just like you and I, and that they're achieving and reaching their dreams. In the future, I expect that we'll do some other programs and we'll bring you some other folks. And I guarantee you, you will be amazed how many people are doing good things right in your backyard, literally, in terms of what's happening at the college, what's happening in Pittsburgh and the county of Allegheny. So until next time, keep on doing what you're doing and never give up on those dreams.